And we're live. Hello. I hope this is all going to work. That's about all I can say right now. Just going to make sure I've got my windows in the right places. Okay. So, top right corner, you'll see sort of here-ish, I think. Approximately what I'm looking to draw today. Hello, Debsred. Now, I've been hunting for drawings of this for a little over a year now. And I've struck luck. So, yeah. Mostly by finding something very, very similar. And fortunately, due to the standardisation of the components, it's going to be nice and easy. So, starting from the bottom. That's a good point. How am I going to start this? Slices. Slices should work. So I have a model of one of these, actually, as well, which will help things. I'm just going to rustle it out of the packaging, I'm afraid. Rustle. It is a model by Hornby at 00 scale. So it's quite little. It's quite cute. And it should give me just enough information to go with to draw this adequately. Now, so this is a bogey vehicle, which means it's slightly more advanced than the last one I did, if anyone had remembered watching that one. So I guess to start with, blah 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 blah. Now, to my knowledge, this is basically two mirrored halves. At least that's how I'm going to draw it. So we've got... Also, as you may be able to hear, I am playing Minecraft in the background. So, my apologies, but I wanted to run the iron farm while I wasn't doing anything else. So, very, very detailed drawing this. Okay, so this is going to make up the very basic frame. Now, part of me is going, should I be publishing these to the internet? Kind of seems a bit, you know, what's the word? Foolish. However, I'm setting this up for my printer. This is not not by any means a perfect as it should be model. And, you know, I mean, hey, if people want to make their own, then cool, go for it. Just, you know, have fun with that. If, for whatever reason, some large, you know, manufacturer of such vehicles at model scale is interested in my services, hello. Now, this is, if I recall, a fairly chunky unit of a thing. So I'm going to go on the side of chonk as opposed to on the side of small. A little bit chunkier makes it a bit sturdier. Now, the outside. Now, that's moderately inconvenient. 3/8 of an inch. That's 5/8 of an inch. What would that be? Inconvenient. That's what that is. So that looks to be. It's about 8 foot. That's the important thing. It's about 8 foot, which makes sense. And to be honest, 7'11" 3/8. Let's have a look. Let's open up the document where I have all my charts in it. For anyone interested, it's just a really big Excel document full of what happens when you turn certain numbers into certain other numbers. For example, if I scroll all the way to the bottom, scrolling, I've been using this for a few years. It's basically like a preset calculator in so many words. So, if I go, say, 8 foot, you can't see this, but, you know, just take my word on it. 3/8 is 3.75? 0.375, sorry. So it's another 1.25, takes it up to 5, so yeah. So, we have 56 millimeters or 55.7 millimeters. And as I round to the nearest half millimeter anyway, 56 ain't much difference. So, 56 is 8 foot. Now, I didn't need the calculator to work that out, but it just, you know, doesn't hurt to check. So the next bit is 33 foot 10. 33 foot 10 is 237. Almost dead on as well. Excellent. I like it when that happens. Now, I'm sure you're already seeing part of the problem with this. Now, one of the issues I have is I don't really have much to go on in terms of how substantial these vehicles are. However, I know how substantial they need to be in certain elements. Sorry about the microphone hitting my shoulder there. Let's hope that this doesn't go to any inconvenient places. Easiest drawing to load, J28, there we go. Now, this is an older style big lump of a truck. So, I'm using this as the basis, because I know that this works. Because I've got one of them just over there, you might have seen it in a couple of the videos I've done of my trains. But this bit is the important one for me right now, and it is that boss, which is probably going to be somewhere in the region of here. No, not even there. Alright. There? No. No. Be good if I'd labelled these parts, wouldn't it? Right, we're getting close. My apologies. There we go. Okay, so that is a 5mm radius boss. Nice and easy. Basically, I'm just checking for consistency, because my intention will be to recycle as many parts as I can get my hands on. So 5mm diameter boss, so the easiest thing to do is to have this as a, let's say a 6mm beam. That's going to take all the weight of the vehicle, and it's going to be fairly stiff, but not too stiff, as that can cause its own problems. And that is a mirror of this. Now this brake wall in the middle is going to be a 2mm thick. Now the next part is, you go, this bit, that little accordion type bit there. So it has a 23 foot centres. So 23 foot is 161. Now it's 161 plus 6 is the easier measurement for me to do before I sneeze. Excuse me. So I've said 161. So 161 is 155 minus 6. So 155. There we go. And that is the first. Let's go with, it's going to be a fairly chunky vehicle because I want these to be loadable. First millimeter. Hey. Now I need to draw this again. And this time I need to draw the side. That's going to be the... I tell you what, that's the top view. So let's go up from there. Now, easiest way of doing this quickly is top bar, chamfer. No, yeah, there's a chamfer, not a fillet. As much like, well, significant portions of all the vehicles I've drawn, this uses big U-shaped channel. Now, normally, with U-shape or I-shaped channel, it's squared, or almost squared, with a tiny radius inside where it goes through the rolling mills. But you can't print that, or if you try, it'll go badly. Hear an iron golem dying in the background. But so I need to put little tiny chamfers on them, and they're visible, but it's that you're basically building a kit. Like a, you know, I could draw this in all of its different elements, have these I-beams on each side as separate parts you have to glue together, and then you've got weak points. And a lot of weak points at that. So I'm just going to... Excuse me. No, technically, I did the wrong one. Trying to sneeze too loudly while I'm doing this. That's probably going to make it more pleasant for people to watch. I will try and remember to unlist this video after the stream is done. It'll be linked to my main channel. As is normal. Why did that door just make noise? Right, so this is going to have a 0.5mm drop. Didn't seem like much, but the whole part is only going to be... Well, I estimate it's a 10-inch frame, which is 6mm. Normally it's a 9-inch frame, but I reckon 10 is nearer the mark. Now I've made that a millimeter, haven't I? Now, if I'm being canny about this, I could probably save myself a bit of time here. Again, I'm going to make these fairly substantial parts because I want this to be a fairly chunky vehicle, which again means it needs fair amounts of thickness. Now it's going to be skinnier at the top, because that's what you're going to see. Because there's a few gaps in the frames, well, you'll be able to see into the chassis, and I want it to look fairly good. Hopefully, anyway. So this is a... What's unlocked here? Oh yeah, all these parts, that's right. I do enjoy the summer and the warm weather, having my window open, hearing all those people driving past. Yeah. Okay, so that's the main end-to-end bars drawn up. Now, what's the key measurements of this sketch? 237, there we go. So extend that to 237, and that means that all of that is now enclosed. Whew. Now, this next bit's fun. Said no one ever. Because I just remembered. Well, no, it's fine. I've remembered. I have remembered. I'll draw these in from. Makes no matter whether I draw in from the side. I'll draw in from the top. Top will be easier. Alright, so use sketch number 1 because I've already got it drawn. There's nothing in it, but. So I need the headstock, which is the piece of metal that runs down there. I'll need to put an extra bit on. It's fine. Right. It's hot today. I'm being slow. My apologies. Let's hope that doesn't get me a copyright claim. Haha. As far as I'm aware, actually, let me just check. I have not muted the background audio, so you'll have a bit of background noise, I'm afraid. But I say, it's just, I'm sitting in the iron farm, because I was going to stream some Minecraft, and I thought, I could stream that now, then I'll have nothing to stream tomorrow that I've already got planned. So I'm just sitting in the iron farm, so I have plenty of iron to work with tomorrow, because I plan on sitting here drawing for, I'd imagine, at least the 3 hours I normally stream. Might go longer if people join in, because as I say, it's going to be more of a social stream. It's not going to be very, very, yes, quiet type, proper grown-up working. I'm just going to sit here. If I could get away with it, I'd just have YouTube on in the background, listening to music or whatever. Because I could just mute all my background sound, and you don't get to listen. And if people jump in the chat, I'll just have to mute that. Which I might do that anyway. And then you'll get to hear the sound of me mumbling to things. That will be fun, won't it, everyone? Trying to keep up with the talking on this. There's lots to talk about with this. Bugger. This ain't Minecraft, so I'm allowed to swear a bit more. I'm going to try not to swear gratuitously, because that's just, meh. Occasional screams of the foxes are rather unsettling, I'm not going to lie. So, pull this out. So this is the headstock. Again, it's going to be 1 millimeter thick, as this has got to take all of the load of the vehicles. I will probably put a strengthening plate in the middle later, otherwise the couplings don't fit properly and they sag and look a bit... yeah. Now, conveniently, these parts also need to be strengthened. This part can just be the full 2 millimeters, as that's just a strengthener as well. Now, right, this part. So this line is 76.5. Alright, this is going to be 4 millimeters. And that is 34 millimeters. There we go. Now, just to copy the numbers to the other end. $28, $56, and something's not right. That one. There we go. So this is the top, in theory. And this is going to come down 5mm. Alright, so that's currently upside down, but this is going to be probably printed in a few bits, because that makes sense. So it's a very basic frame, because there's a lot of junk that's got to fit on there and on there. So next up, I guess, is the bosses. Which I'm going to draw in from this side. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to draw the ends on. The ends will be relevant to do now, rather than waiting till later. So they're that way up. So draw from there. Do I have any numbers to work with, or is it just going to be probably a 2-inch drop? Probably a 2-inch drop. Let's just check. Have I got any useful numbers? Any useful numbers? Alright, that one uses 1 foot section. Oh, that's a good thing I can go off, isn't it? Right. Where's the right one? So this has 1 foot 6-inch diameter oleo pneumatics. Which I believe is hydraulic, but I'm not too sure. So that's 10. It goes about the middle of the bar. A smaller diameter at that end, and I'm going to say it's 7mm, because that's 7. 7's really flat. Is there a better drawing? Scrolling. There is not a better drawing. Excellent. However, it doesn't help. The part what's drawing I've scrolled to is different. Oh. Well, I hope everyone in the chat's having a nice day at least. I've dealt with that emergency call out earlier. Wasn't anything too difficult, I just had to be dealt with quickly. So, not much of an issue there. Mostly just inconvenience on my part. Now, that is generally a fairly standard measurement. Does it have a measurement? Or is it not going to? It doesn't have a measurement. Excellent. Just over a third of the width. So it's 8 foot, and a third of 8 foot is about 3 foot. So how's this look? Why did that move? Oh yeah, that's why. Right, so nice little extra bit that should help. Such a little thing, isn't it? But it's just the, you know, it's the little extra details that help. And now I can use it as a template. Hey. If the background noise gets obnoxious, do let me know in the chat. Say it's... I can either put my fan on and try and recirculate the air to get rid of the road noise, or I can just mute the game sound if that's the problem. I'm not fussed either way. I need to stop sitting on my foot. Ugh. Yeah, leg keeps falling asleep. And move on. Okay, next job then. The ever so exciting. Now, draw the boss already in, as the boss is, well, how I've been printing these recently, I've got to make sure I do these right, otherwise they're very soft, apart from at the very front edge, which can be a problem. Now, actually, let's draw a line to make these sure these are at least centered off each other. There goes the sugarcane. So, that looks about right, don't it? But looking about right isn't the same as looking right. So, let me select the line, there we go. 80. Now it should be 161, so it should be 80.5. There we go. Redundant line, good, right. This is 7mm generally. Generally it's 7, so I think I'm going to need it to be 8. Let's see if I can chamfer this pair adequately. 2. Won't do 2, 1.99. For whatever reason, it don't like having touching faces. So, there we go. And that is the very, very basics. Oh, wait, stop spinning. Stop spinning. Stop. So it doesn't. The pole doesn't go all the way through, but it does go almost all the way. So, as chat's doing alright. That's 3 people watching. Hey, hello, 3 people. So yeah, this is gonna be a huge pain to draw, because I'm gonna draw it, the frames and everything underneath them, then the body and everything on top. Because as far as I'm aware, this gets away with a lot of the strength issues because it's a monocoque design, by which I believe is generally meant, at least, that it's all one big assembly. It's not a chassis with a body bolted to it. The chassis and the body are one, generally with welds. There's some rivets in places. I'd imagine the rivets are in places that need repairing relatively often. So, let's try and make this look a little bit more like a train. Because I'm looking at my OBS, and let's make this picture bigger for a temporary. That's what we got, and we have gotten, yeah, sort of that bit so far. So we got just the underside. Don't know if you can see my mouse. You can't see the mouse, but you can't see the mouse on there. You can see just the under rail. And now I'm probably going to do it with different, because those, I think they're diamond section bogey bolsters. I can use different ones myself. It depends also what year they were made, I understand. So let's see. What does it say on the document I've got? What does it say? What does it say? Where's the page gone? Right, so for the first one in the drawing collection, it doesn't say a thing. Excellent. But it has instanter couplings, so that's convenient. I've got lots of those. Instanter couplings implies it's not AVB, automatic vacuum brake? Automatic vacuum brake. Okay, so it's got instanter couplings and vacuum brakes. What have we got? So that means as long as a vacuum is applied to the pipes, the brakes are off. If the vacuum fails, the brakes go on. So the brakes have to be turned, basically, to turn the brakes off. Sorry, to turn the brakes on, you turn the brakes off. I'm waffling, don't worry. There's not going to be a test later. Okay, so that next one is an air brake and hand screw. Yep. As this type of vehicle requires screw braking on the ground, so you can't have the lever brakes because it doesn't have that kind of. Well, you could, but you wouldn't have anywhere to put the lever. So this next one, this has got a lot more information. Underframe steel, bogie, Gloucester cast steel, and the body is steel. Instanter couplings, oleo pneumatic buffers, 1.6 inch buffer heads, 2-pipe air and vacuum, automatic empty load changeover device. Alright, so it's got automated unloading. Fancy. Handbraked on one bogie only. Understandable. Hey, rated for 60 miles per hour. What's this one? So 2-pipe air brake automatic. Empty, yeah, through vacuum pipe. So it's only air brake, but it has a through pipe for a vacuum. So if you've got a vacuum braked vehicle at the back of the train, you could still do that. As through piping is often quite useful and is retrofitted to quite a lot of engineering vehicles where needed. Where convenient as well. Most of that consists of getting the relevant gubbins, drilling the holes through your headstocks, putting the pipes underneath out the way. Jobs are good. Now, you've been staring at a stationary screen for a while, and I'm sorry about that. So, things I need to do. Stuff underneath the frames is all the hopper chute mechanisms. All the little bits are going to get added separate. All the end railings are going to be separate. Looks like it's been modified at some point in its newer life. That's all separate, that's all on top of the frames. So one thing I might need to do is look at where the floors go. Annoyingly, I've not really got a good measurement for where the floor goes. Because some of it's mesh, some of it's checker plates. Because, as far as I'm aware, you need to be able to see down, and if the angle is correct, you can look at what it's doing. I also need a floor in it, because in elements of it, the superstructure's fixed down. So this one has the better drawings. Now that says... Did I say it was 23 foot centres? I did. Okay, so it's 12 foot 8 1/4 over the outsides. And it looks quite complicated. So we're working on this side now. And how best to go about this? Because all the actual hopper, by the look of it, ends... It's like the storage bit ends there-ish. So it comes all the way down there. Alright, so I think I'm just going to mix things up a little. We'll start the new drawing. We'll start drawing the hopper. Now this is a lovely, complicated, not at all made of anything flat part. I can hear a fox screaming in the distance. Wish they wouldn't do that. Okay. Construction lines. Grumble. Why is there a fox screaming? It's night time. Come on. Get to sleep. There we go. Right, so this big bathtub looking thing. keep doing that wrong one. I'm no dexterity today. So the bottom of this is 12 foot 8 1/4 inches. Apparently. Well, I'm assuming. So that's 89 millimeters. Alright. So we've got 89 millimeters, 27 foot 6 inside, 27 foot 6 inches, 193. So that's the inside measurement, so that's from there to there. There we go. So it's quite a steep angle. Now it is also 9 foot 9 inches. Handy. But is it 9 foot 9 inches, or is it only that variant? Okay, that one's 9 foot 9 3/4 inches. 3/8 of an inch even. Now, what does that mean realistically? So it's 3 foot 6 to that centre, and I've said that that is 3 millimeters above that, so that's 21 plus 3.5, so that's 24.5 plus 3, 27.5, so 27.5. No, it isn't. It's below that. Right, so 9 foot 9 inches is 68. And that's 68 minus 21 is 47.5. No, it's not. What am I talking about? Oh, I'm being slow today. Right, 68 minus 21 is 47. Minus 3.5 is 44, plus some change. So 44 up to there. Now it needs another 3 millimeters adding back on, so that's 47. Right. So there to there, 47. Yay! It's measurements like this that have been keeping me from getting this done. So 27 foot 6 inch inside. Alright, so I just need the material thickness as it appears. I could be wrong. It appears that it's... words. Right, I'm going to print it this way up. So that's me the bottom, that's me the top, as it is. So in theory, I can get away with doing a few extra bits. So this line here, it's me at 90 degrees. That's parallel. 90 degrees. Right. So that is going to be that distance to there flat is going to be a question, because the printer prints in this plane, not that plane. So I've got to make sure that whatever number I've got there is actually a relevant thickness. If I put that to 1 millimeter, how thick's that? Half. So that's going to be wafer thin. Oh, just one wafer thin. What? Just one wafer thin mint, Mr. Creosote. Oh, just one wafer thin sparrow. That's mixing up 2 quotes. Well done, me. You know what? Let's break those bindings. There we go. So if I make this a millimetre thick, because a millimetre is still pretty thin, that means that this thickness is 1.6. That's comfy. Right. So the base of the hopper, again, needs to have a bit of thickness to it. It's going to be a millimetre. And that measurement is going to need to be the same as that one. See? Nice and easy. Now this is 8 feet wide. Allegedly. So that's 56 millimeters. Now, one thing to take into note, at least on the model I've got, the exterior bodywork just goes over the frames, but only just. So that's fun, because that means I now need to build it such that the frames and the bodywork go together. But the frames have to be printed upside down because they've got gubbins on the underneath, and the bodywork has to be printed the right way up because it's got gubbins on the top. Now, fortunately, a lot of this stuff can be hidden, so that's fortunate. Right, so it looks like a skip because it basically is. Hello, Lord Crispo. I'm doing that voice again, aren't I? Yeah. So, now we've got this one. Sound of iron golems melting in the distance. So this is going to be, yeah, select the lines. Do it. There you go. So they are going to go there. He's going to go like that. So this should, all going well, all behave itself. So that is 44.5. What? No, 44.5, not 440. Oh. What is that? Fancy modern art gubbins. Right, 44.5. That looks correct. Now there to there. 47. 48. No. 47.5. Yeah. Yeah. Where do I measure from? Ah, it's measured to that corner. Well done me. Right, so it's there to there. 47. That's 90 degrees. That is the princely sum of a millimetre. And it is a 27 foot 693mm gap inside. Hey. Redundant measurement. There we go. Okay, that little noise I keep hearing is morning or evening happening. as it's the solar panel turning on or off. Come on. Don't tell me I can sleep and then not let me. So this needs to be thin. That's what this needs to be. Now part of me thinks it'll be better to print the sides flat. Print the main structure, but print the sides flat, 'cause it'll be quicker. But for now, I'm going to print. I'll see how it goes like this. So dimension 0.5, 0.5. So that goes a little in, a little out, which means that there'll be an overlap at the bottom that I can cut out space in the frames for. Oh, I don't need to worry about that though, do I? Do I? No, I do. Right. Forget me on head. Right. And the upside down bathtub side. Let's try it nice and chunky, oversized, make it nice and easy to. Do. For whatever reason, I'm reminded of the bit in Hot Fuzz where I can't remember his rank. The older policeman goes, "But he's got one thing you haven't got, Nicholas." Oh, what's that? A great big bushy beard. Don't ask. It's better not to. So 47 millimeters, 44.5 millimeters, and what did I say these were? $193. So this is going to only just fit on the printer because it's a thick boy, which also means it's going to take an absolute age to print. But that's fine, because I'm not going to need to make many of them, if many at all. Now, in theory, I could get paid quite a lot for one of these if I can do it up to good enough standard. But that's neither here nor there. So, that's the tub. Now the question is, do I do all the tub rails, or do I put those on separate? Because down the outside, I have let me try and get this measured up right. So these two bits I've just done, right, they're wrong. People are posting food in my chat again. Can't believe they've done this. So I need to remember that it's not just the hopper, because that's the inside of the hopper. That's fine, but the hopper sides are different. So I need to break that point. I need to break that point. I need to keep hearing the rather distressing sound of the screaming foxes next to come on. There we go. Right. So that part needs to be aligned. That part needs to not be flat. It needs to, in fact, be the opposite of flat. These two need to be verticalized, but they still need to be aligned to that bit. Right, construction line I think is the easiest solution to this. So there to there. There to there. Now I said it was 44.5, I believe. Right. Okay. So that looks about right. It just obviously needs to be tidied up. So, the bodywork is on this version of it. 2'3" centered. And I'd say that is... what's... ruler. There we go. These are at a different scale. These are almost 2mm, 1.5mm thick. So, 1.5 divided by 4, well, yeah, divide by 4 times 7 is 0.75. After that is 0.375 times 7 is 2. Yeah, it's about 2.5. Actually, no, I think I've actually got a calculator for that on my spreadsheet. So 1.5 equals that divided by 4 equals that times 7. 2.625. 2.5. 2.5. So 2'3" and 2'3" is the same, obviously. So 17. So if I go the upper end and go for 3mm, making it a little bit chonkier. Again, strength being useful. 14mm. This part is. And it keeps doing that thing where it turns it bloody upside down. This is a fixed measurement. Stop twisting it over the top like that. It's rude. 14. There. Which implies if that's 14, that's exactly 2 foot, which means those are 6-inch wide stanchions, which are not unsubstantial. Alright, I could probably do the maths on this though, so it's 27'6". Actually no, of course I can do the exact maths on it, it's 23 foot. Because it's straight off the wheel centres for the centre. So 23 foot is 161. And that is 166 to the outside. So 166 is a difference of 2.5 and 2.5. That's more than it should be. 100 so. I'm doing it as the thickest is 3mm section. So that should be 164. Why is that? Oh yeah, it's because that number. So 164. Now for reference purposes, I'm going to open up the original one of this, just to compare some of my numbers. So that's what I got previously. Notice it's got some odd little bits and pieces on it. So we've got this part is 98, and it should be, well, the top of that is only 193, so that's too long for a start. 163.5 is also not quite too long actually. It's actually about the right size. But yeah, that's all the original one I did. It's not very good. But we're going to do a better one, because that's what I do. Alright, so... break that, break that, break that, break that. Break. There we go. So I can pull these lines around a bit. Pull that line around a bit. Alright, well, that line at least needs to be vertical. So that line joins there. That line to there. So that's that. That is... that line needs to be flat. And 44.2. 44.5. Then that should be 47. What's happened now? It's flipped it over again. Typical. Right. So there. Almost exactly where it needs to be. It shouldn't flip it now. Sometimes it just doesn't understand what it's meant to be doing. There's an extra line there. Right, so now that line, which I just worked out what it all was, should be nice and simple. 164, if I'm not mistaken. Right, so there we have the tub. Now, I'm going to do some gubbins inside, but I'll get to that. That's going to be a lot of stuff to do inside as well. As it is not only 2, but 3 different inside profiles. Huzzah. So later, Crispo. Now I guess I could start saving these as STLs so I can show you how they fit together. So I'm not too certain how you combine things within this software. I've never needed to do it, so I've never looked. Right. So we've got top half and bottom half. Now this is where it gets inconvenient for me, because I've got to work from a combination of different drawings that are all very slightly different. Because one of them is one of the most useless drawings I've seen, and then it doesn't show anything at all, but expects you to know what to do. So that's good. Now a lot of this, the complicated parts are driven by bevel gears. Not doing anything like that. It's not anywhere visible either, so they're not going to operate. I might leave them free floating so you can at least turn the little wheels, but that'll be the extent of it. So I need to find that spacing. Oh, that's awful. Right. Now, part of me thinks the easiest way to do this is to chop out most of the middle and work backwards and upwards. Or I've got lots of complicated bits to draw. So in theory, we've got the domed out inside bit, we've got the sloping in end bits, and we've got a bit of a chamfer that tidies up between the two. So in theory, this is nice and easy. As it's several flat surfaces, all I need to do is have a line to work at. And because I'm... what's the word? Stupid. Let's go with that. Oh, it's sideways. Oh, it's gonna make... Oh, why do you do this to me? Right. Inside is a radius and a radius, and then a flat section followed by a flat section followed by another flat section, and out of those flat sections there are cutouts. Huzzah. Now, let's put this onto wireframe. Now, these end flat. They're flush straight into the sides of the vehicle as best as I can see. So that means I can do this. Make that a vertical line. And make this 0.5mm off there. So this is 55mm across. Now this is mostly from what appears to be the waist down. The waist being about halfway up. As generally where the waist is. At least as far as I can tell. I'd actually be almost exactly halfway up the body. Might start a little higher, but I can't. If it is, it's a very shallow radius. I could try and work it out better, but it's about where that intersection is. So it is about here that it starts at the most tippy-toppy point. But it... yeah, words. Words. Now, I've not got accurate measurement for any of these next bits. This is going to be a degree of guesswork. So this is 47 high. So approximately that is 25. And this is all the way down there at the bottom end. That technically is a construction line. Now that is the... oh no, it's not quite touching that, is it? It is a small amount of material thickness. Great. Either way, this is the princely sum of 10 inches across, and 10 inches is 6mm, or nearest damn it at scale. 6! There you go. So, 6mm. These two facings have gaps in them, but are otherwise equal. These are also equal, I would hope. Now, the question is, what would be a sensible radius? Because at the moment, that has a radius of... let's put it at a radius of 3 feet. Now that is far too flat. Let's put it at a radius of 2 feet. That's nearer the mark, actually. Oh, it looks a little off. Let's try 30 inches. If I could... Stop rotating. This ain't ideal, but that is, if anything, looks too short now. Let's say these parts come all the way up almost to there. So let's push this up to the next foot marker and go 4 foot. And maybe we'll try that as high as 21. So that's 3 foot. That could be it. Let's see what the drawing suggests. That looks about right. What's that angle there? That angle is 115 degrees. I don't have a compass to hand, at least. This'll do. This'll do for what I need. Let's go with that. So now I need to give this some thickness, because at the moment this is a line segment. No. What was that? Come on. So that can come all the way down to there. Then it's going to get a flat base, because I need this to be able to print on something, and you can't print on good intentions. So that needs to be at least 1 millimetre across, and go 1.5, as it should be a part that's not visible, unless you've got someone who's going to flip it over and have a look underneath. These two lines are parallel, and they are already... Oh, I've done that bit already. Right, so that's that side done. Now I just need to do this side. Out there. Off the centre. To the point. To the point. There we go. Parallel. Equal. Equal. There we go. Now that just needs to run. Let's get it visible. So that looks wrong. Just don't look right. Whereas up to last. Hey, it even does it proper. Nice. Now that looks a lot more like it. Now I got this awkward bit to deal with, but that's not an issue. So next up, let's optimistically see if I can get a chamfer out of it. 3mm chamfer. Nah, not like that. Alright. So the awkward bit to do next to be, if I can, try and get the chamfer in the middle. But that's fine. If people are going to be that picky, well, they can make their own. So this part now needs to get sliced out the middle. So that's 0.5 by 55 by at least however many that is. 32 by 50. That should cover it all. Ooh, not quite. 55. So this, not specific numbers, because all I'm going to do is chop out through all that lot. There we go, so we've got all of that bit nicely bathtubed out. Now, because I hate myself, I'm going to draw the doors separately and install them separately, because they are going to need to fit inside there. Now, the other thing I need to do, of course, this has got to fit onto the frames. Yay! So I need to go underneath here, and I'm going to need to cut out, let me just get the drawing. Where are we? I think that's from the first sketch. Right. 237, 155, 2. And it is 52 millimeters inside there. So I'm just going to use the snipping tool, which is very useful for this kind of work. Grab that. Close that. Close that, come on. And then come underneath, and then we've got to transfer all of that information to this one. So, part there, part there, part there. Right, so you can cut out a lot of it because it's not there. Nice and simple. So there to there is 155. So that's the clearance. Now it is 2 millimeters, so we're going to put that as 2.5. Again, this is where I'm thinking, do I make the sides separately? But then if I do the sides separately, all of that troughing underneath is going to be awkward to get drawn. That is nailed on there. That's nailed on there. That's attached to there. The nice and easy thing of doop-a-doop-a-doo. They're all the same. Oh wait, they're all the same. Right. So next up, this is going to be a tight fit, and this is going to be 2.4 millimeters. Why ain't that? Oh, it's not actually attached to the center. Hey, alright. Attached to the center. Equal spacing. That needs to cover at least one end to the other end. And that measurement is the 100 and some. So let's just put a 6 on each end. That should give me plenty to work with. So I need to be a tight fit over the sides, but the ends are less of an issue. Now, will this work? Ugh. Right, so it has worked, but it's also not worked, if that makes sense. So, that ain't gonna print. The printer's gonna look at that and go, nah, get fucked, mate. So, that's inconvenient. So I need to go, I've got all the drawings though, I can go back a couple steps and chop out the floor below that height, because the top part will hold it together. So this pad was 28mm tall. So I'm going to chop out everything. No I can't. Darn it. It's most likely that that end piece does go all the way down the end. It's the floor that's the issue. That's easily resolved though, isn't it? Because I can use the old big brain intellectual powers and assume that although that part will go all the way to the frames, this won't. Engaged brain. Sometimes it works. Now this was, what, 47.5, so that's, no, 44.5, so that should be 89. 44.5. And I might as well run it all the way to the edge. So that's half mil. And 55. 55. No, it run all the way to the edge. And it's 56. This, however, is 9. And that are the same. There we go, it goes green. Nice. 1. Now that ain't looking great, is it? It's got rough edges. Generally just looks a bit crap. But it'll print. And that's the important thing here. Because none of this is going to get seen. But I need to make sure that those bits there, because they've got to tuck in over the frames. And that bit's got to tuck in over the frames. Then inside of that, I need to draw the next bit. Hey. And that is the middle bar that runs all the way up the vehicle. And this is going to be, it's quite a substantial piece of metal. So that is probably going to be, most likely, 0.5mm thick. I know I've done it as 2.5 on the frame, so it's going to be a little skinnier here, but it's still not an unsubstantial piece. And that runs to, I reckon, a foot shy of the top. 4mm to the foot. Let's use the end of the ruler that's there. I have the very convenient thing of I'm using a ruler where one end is missing. It's 18 inches, so that is 10 off the top. So that's already 6 up out of 47. So let's go with 30 and see how that looks. That ain't bad, right. So the lower end of this is part of the frames. That is starting to look much better than I've done previously, and it's only taken me an hour and 18 minutes. So, yeah, I like this. Now, the next thing I need to do is, realistically, I need to adjust that cutout I did. Because it's just a little bit long. So if I make that 43, 44, let's try 44, update. There you go, we've got a flat edge. That's fine, I can work with that. That's still there. It's a bit awkward, there's a gap, but again, I've got to fit the frames in underneath, because this would be a big one-piece, huge, welded-up assembly, but that ain't happening. It ain't. Next, the exterior ribs, because this, believe it or not, is almost done. So things I can try and do that might make this a little more comfortable for the printer. If I can ever pick up the line. There we go, and the last one. Hey, got it almost straight away. No, it ain't working. Okay, never mind. I'd hope that I could do something to box in this part. Now I could, very easily actually. I could make it solid. So you're not going to see it underneath. But, yeah. I don't know. It should be fine. It's just going to be a bit of a confused shape. It's all nice and open anyway. Right, so next up, need to bang the holes in for these. Probably not next up realistically, but it's the one I'm doing now. So these are two really huge pieces of metal. So it's 12 foot 8 1/4, and it looks like it's got about 2 inches either end. About an inch. I've actually seen the inside of one of these, found a very nice picture on, I believe it's the North Yorkshire Moors Railways website. And it has a nice picture of it, and it is a substantial piece of metal that is each end of this. So I'm going to make it a couple of millimeters thick for my purpose. Obviously there's more space for it to go that end. Now 10 inches is still, because it hasn't changed, 6 millimeters wide. Which puts this at that width, which is good because I've allowed for that. I just haven't overlapped it yet. So it's 56, that means it's 25. Nice and easy. And then all the way through. Now those parts are really thin. And they're holding down a lot of the part, so it's probably going to have some rafting issues because this is all so thin. But I have printed this way up because I need the nice smooth sides, and I won't get that if I print upside down. I also won't get that properly. So what I'll probably end up doing is disking the sides. I might D the sides actually. Just put a loop out from each side to keep it stuck to the bed properly. As bits like that won't like it. Realistically, I might have to section this a bit more. Excuse me. Right. So I've got this part that needs to be printed the wrong way up. But that's it as it is. Potentially, I could just make the ends outside of here a separate part. That will make them weaker, but it also means I'd have to put those parts separate. So in theory, I can make the ends minus the actual headstocks, minus the bolsters, all one piece. So minus those bolsters, minus the headstock. It's a big H shape then. I don't think that's going to work though. So what I think I might do is chop out this bar and put it back in the other one. Because I think it needs it to hold the middle together. So on this facing, that's why it's always a good idea to make. I say I could have, done huge, great sheets of drawings, planned it all out in minute detail, But that's not how my brain works. I can look at this and go, it needs to be like that. How can I draw it when it's all together? It's like that. Alright, how's this actually going to fit together? Like that. Done. So this needs to now be 6mm thick. Now I'm immediately seeing a problem. Because if I make that as its own piece, it's already big. In fact, let's just show you how big this is. Save. Hopper. Export. Hopper. And open up Cura. Alt to make Cura. Check in on the Minecrafts while that's loading. Efficiency. Hello, Talon. Welcome to another one of my probably very boring CAD streams. For the people who are more interested in Minecraft, I've had quite a lot of iron so far. So that's fun. And Cura still hasn't opened. Yeah. Okay, but so far I've got most of the superstructure done. And most of the substructure is getting there. So this part, I'm going to have to chop out the middle. Which means this becomes 2 separate ends. Because I don't actually know if I can print this. It might be too long. 237. I think the maximum I can get on my bed is 240. But I don't know if it even goes that far. So let's measure it. Because, you know, that's a productive thing I can do while I'm waiting for Cura to load. Okay, so edge to edge, the bed is 235. So this is already too long. So that's fine. We have a solution. And the solution is to cut it in half. So, nice and simple. I have put quite a lot of effort into this already, but that's fine. I pick this end arbitrarily. Doop. One, except I need it to be 1 in the other direction, because I need to cut out the centre. Because that's a good plan. So 28, 56, 100 and some. 118? No. 180. 120. 120s are just a bit more, but that's fine. Right. Yeah. Yeet. Ah. I see the mistake. It's fine. Right. Sugarcane's just gone. There we go. Through all. Okay, so right the way up to that step, I was drawing both ends. Now I just need to draw one end. That will then go in underneath the hopper. All will be well. Right, OBS. There we go. So let's get the hopper. Oof, it's a chunky fella. So as it currently stands, while I'm just turning the other one into a relevant drawing, that's big. That is almost as big as my printer can handle. I've gone the delicate slicing. So if I go, I'm also going to go. I'm going to export this. So that's 9 hours 24 minutes. Yeah, no. That's not happening. Because that's not even done yet. That is a substantial print. Now let's get the frames, the complete frames, hopefully. Put this over the origin. Yep. See, they are too long. Let's try them at 45 degrees, just to be optimistic. Just at 45 degrees. But, yeah. That's a bit chonky. So yeah, this is going to need some changing. I think the easiest thing I can think of is knock the sides down by 0.5 millimeter. The hopper's probably going to have to be as substantial as it is. How do I make this expedient? Other than doing it at lower quality. Because, I mean, 9.5 hours for a huge thing like this isn't actually that bad. Believe it or not. I did one that was 11 hours. Right, just on the off chance though, let's take this from fine to draft. Keep. I hope that's not messed things up. So, draft quality, this is half the definition. So instead of being 0.1 of a millimeter, it's 0.2 of a millimeter per slice. And I need to turn my light on, so I'll be right back while that's doing that. Knock things over because I've got wide pockets today, apparently. There we go, 4 hours 45 minutes. That's looking a bit more positive. I could print that now and just be done before I wanted to set fire to myself. Yeah. So that is still wafer thin. Oh, just one wafer thin 3D print. Okay, see this bit though? This bit? Yeah, that's a problem. What's it doing there? Is this bit? Right. X-ray. It's got a red light. And a red light means it's done messed up. So, let's drag that down there. Alright, it says it's a red light, but it's not. Because that's how it's going to build up the layers. All the way up like that. So that's actually alright, that's fine. It's just concerning me by making it look like that piece isn't substantial. One thing I can do actually, if I'm going to incorporate that beam, minimize Minecraft again. Let's get there we go. Not that part, but this part. Where is pocket number 6? Not pocket number 6 then. What's pocket number 3? There we go. Right. No, not pocket number 3. Huh. Pocket number 1? There we go. So you take the part out and you put it back in again. Understandable, right? That will help. That will help dramatically, I will hope, as well. It's got a nice thick strengthening beam running across the centre. And the frames will take up the rest of the slack. It's just not touching the bed there and there. But it is there. No, it isn't. What? Yeah. Ah, that's why. That does touch at that end, but it doesn't at that end because I'm dumb. There we go. And the line fills in. Okay then. So those two little fixes could have been dramatically calamitous in trying to print this. So that's good. Now again, I've got little cutouts that I can try and refine away. That's that one. It's this one. Right. So this... yeah. For a start, let's make that 10. See how that compares. Alright, now let's make this 43. And this 86. And compare. There we go. That now has something that'll stick it to the bed. And it's not in a place that's visible. So it should all be well. And it gives this more surface area. And that's much better. Good. What I can do is chamfer that edge on that edge by 0.5. Nah, I won't need it. Alright, so how long did that say? What? 9 hours 44 on the proper settings. Let's try it now with that little adjustment. So let's overwrite it. Don't need the old one. So 4 hours 44. We'll keep it on the draft settings. It doesn't really matter too much. So 4 hours 44. And flip it right side up. Prepare. So 444. And now it'll be... let's work it out. It's not a particularly heavy file, it's just a big piece that it's got to try and slice, so it takes a little while. It is 4 hours 45, so it's no real difference. But it'll give a much more substantial print that should be a much more reliable print. Because if any of these parts come away from the bed, the whole thing's going to twist and shift and generally just be a massive pain in the ass. So, it's looking a bit better. We got the first hole in the floor. Good. How is the chat getting on? Not very much. But that's fine. There's 4 people watching. I can't complain at 4 people watching, considering I'm doing probably one of the most boring things that you can all imagine. Yeah. Now, if I'm being sensible, and I would hope I'd be being sensible, I could work out that this should probably be 6 foot. Because 6 foot is a nice square number. Square number? Round number? Words. Would it be 6 foot though? I'm going to say it's 6 foot. Because that seems about right. Given what, you know, all this is. So there's a little tiny shelf there and there. Yeah, it'll be fine. Right. So next up, we've got this side. There's a flat side that you can't... oh, you can just see it. Alright. So next up, I need to go through there. Now these are 11-inch openings. Very fancy. And 11 inches is 6.4. So I'm going to use a 6.5 millimeters. Because I like to work to a half number because I'm boring like that, I guess. I don't know. Construction lines. There we go. Equal. Straight. Also equal. 42. Again, 6 feet. And I think I put these to 3mm. There's approximately a foot between the two of them. That don't look right, do it? What have I done wrong? That's 42mm. Right, so 1. That fits. That fits pretty much where it should be as well. Ooh, there's that line. Make that 19. I'm not entirely sure. So what had I done wrong with the other one then? Ah, 42 to there. Which ain't it, Chief? So that needs to be at least 43. And that needs to be set back to 1. As does that one. There we go. See that? That looks like I expected it to look. So we've got a bit of a lip. And we've got the space where the not the loading doors, the covers for the chutes, they would rotate in this space. I've actually got a rather nice drawing of them that I will drag up on screen. Give me a second. Image 5, whatever. Now, this. See this drawing? Yeah. This was a really useful drawing to find. Believe it or not. So these, it's not quite the same, but it's a very similar mechanism. So these doors here, that space, are those ones. That one is always the middle one, and the one's going to be over here will be that one. So yeah, that's good, hopefully. You say it's not boring, that sounds like a lie. Right, now we've got these doors coming out as well. Let's see, it's a ballast laying wagon, I believe, used for track renewal mostly. These are a millimetre. These are the same. These are 42 millimeters. These are 6.5 millimeters. And I believe it was 19. Oh, it's different. Oh dear. Right. What's the numbers for this one? 19 to there. And that line is from there to there. 1.7? Near enough, alright. So go approximately 1.7 off of there. Where's the axis gone? Alright, wireframe view it is. Alright. Okay, so if I have the drawing set like that, I can see it. So starters, drag this, touching there. That is, let's go with 27, see what 27 looks like in proper view. Alright, so let's go 26.8. Boom. So it's 27 plus 1.5, 28.5. Yay. Right, so that's the 3 big holes through it. Now, I don't know if I'm particularly bothered to make the doors functional or not, but I could. Now the door mechanism's an awkward one. I don't think I'm going to even try and include that. But where is that? That's... No, that's not what I wanted you to do. 1 second, sorry. Open link in new tab. I'll make sure I'm doing this right, because I know there's a picture of the restoration of these vehicles. And they are huge, great big things. I'll say, if you have a look at the website, the link I've attached is to the page I'm getting some of the references from. And they are pretty substantial bits of kit. The other thing is, depending on what year they were built, they're more substantial or less substantial. So the earlier ones are a lot more rivets, and the later ones are a lot more welds. Right. So, according to my little drawing, not drawing, the picture I'm currently looking at, this is correct. There is a plate underneath this, which the swing door attaches to, and it is a substantial piece of kit. Put this way, the bolt is about as big as my... well, not the bolt, the nut on the bolt is about as big as my fist, by the look of it, so... pretty big piece of kit. So I'm going to have the doors going to go in separate. That's required, because otherwise they'll be below the line of the floor. And this has got a print. So, have we got anything else to work with? Testing, 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 testing. So that was built 1972, and they've got its welded U section. But some of the... no, the breveted U section, some of these have got welded box section. That one's in rather nice condition. Sorry about this, chat. I want to make sure I'm getting this right. Ooh, that is a lovely picture. And not just because it's really photographically nice, but because of the, you know... I'll just put it in the chat. Well, it depends what you want to 3D print, Talon. I want to 3D print this as accurately as I can, and to be honest, I've done a little under 2 hours work to actually do the drawing. I've spent... I hate to think how long finding references, but it's going quite well. It's going quite well. So, next things I need to do is... All that gubbins is going to go in later. Yeah. That isn't though. Ooh, that's going to be awkward to do. Those might go in later. Print some section. Right. That little one there is... How long have you been working 3D printing? I started doing 3D printing, when was it? 2012? So 7 years ago? Alright, so watch me tank my internet briefly. Paul Bartlett Photography. Paul Bartlett is a very renowned railway photographer, so I can attempt to check any little indiscrepancies. That's got the little hat. I'm calling it a hat, it's not actually a hat, but... That was taken in 1979, this one taken in 1977. And the person I'm building these for wants in about the 80s. So, there we go, 1980. Right, it's U section on the outside. Oh, good. Just what I want. Now, it's just got a pretty substantial vacuum cylinder that sits up on the deck, because there's no space underneath. Very compact, very space-efficient little vehicles, these are. And by little, fucking enormous. But that's neither here nor there. So, things I need to do to tidy this up. This has U-sections all the way down the outside. So let's get those out of the way. Because I reckon I can't get much more done with the hopper unless I get a really good picture of the inside of one, because I don't trust this model. It's just wrong looking. And I know it's limited because it's an injection moulding and everything, but it's still, it looks wrong. It might not be, it looks wrong. So we've got, let me scroll to the right picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sets of bars. Now, I could cheat a tiny bit, and I'm going to. Again, drawing oversized, because drawing oversized is easier. You can then refine it back later. Chonk. Yes, they do keep driving past. It is the same bike. I am about as enthusiastic as all of you are, I'm sure. Now, I had said that these pieces were going to be 3mm section. I think that's what I'd sized them as. There goes another iron golem. No. Right, so I can't have it as 3 yet. There. Grumble. Okay, that'll do it. Now these parts need to be 0.5mm thick. This part needs to be 2mm thick. These parts need to be... I can actually run the numbers. It is from the inside, which is at 56mm, to the outside, which is at 8'4.5". 8'4" is 58. These can be 1mm thick. I'm going to run these at 1.2. And these are going to be at 0.5, as this model, although it's quite good, is let down by it being small and therefore not chunky. Now this already looks wrong, because that looks like 6-inch wide section, which it can't be. There's some really good pictures. At best, they are 4 inches wide. 4 inches is approximately 2 millimeters. So I'm going to have to slim this down to a millimeter. So I might need to adjust these side skirts, but not too much. So that's that little chunk. Just need to drag it over to about the right position. Now, this is not made to be some huge miracle of 3D design. This is meant to be something I've cobbled together in an hour or so. Gib. There we go. Well, a couple hours so far. But either way. So those are as they're meant to be. I'd say that that was going to be 0.2, and this is a whole 1. Well, this is going to be, let's go 1.5. I reckon I can squeeze 1.5 without too much issue. 1.5. That'll give me just enough space to work with without it being inconveniently tight. So, braining. 27 foot 6, 23 foot. 23 foot is 161. So this is to there. 161. 80.5. And that is 57. And this is going to go the full drop of the vehicle. Not quite, actually. It goes almost the full drop of the vehicle. Actually, no. Tell a lie. It does go the full drop. However, it's chamfered at the bottom edge, so that's fine. Right. So that's 47.5. Well, that's making its mind up. I'm just going to sleep again in Minecraft. Again, it's a way of getting some iron without having to put too much personal effort in. So 161. Have I done this wrong? So 47.5. That element fits fine. It's the no. Forget me own head. Right. So that should be, that's the centre, but that's not the centre. And these are 2.5 millimeters across, so it should be 3.5 millimeters, but never mind. Right, 82. Update. And there we go. So now we've got first the strengthening ribs, and these come in pairs down the other side. And there's 7 of them. And they run a very specific distance, hopefully. So I can use this tool. Yay, I forget what this tool's called. It is linear pattern, that's the one. So this should be 163, I think, or 162. Yeah. Wait for it to re-render. This is the part when the computer's going to start chugging a little. It's 0.5 mil too long. Hey? Is that 0.5 mil or is that a whole mil? Let's call it a whole mil and see what happens. So, I'm afraid the quick bit is now done. It was a nice time while it lasted. Right, it was a half. What's the most difficult print you've had to do? The difficult print, as in... or the difficult part. Because the most difficult print has probably been the... what have it been? The N11 coal wagon. Because I've got about I've got about 7 bits. Some quite substantial pieces. And the one I've actually got is inferior to quite a large amount, and it annoys me, but can't be helped. Oh, this is going to be a while. But yeah, the file is generally the inconvenient part. But there we go. So that is all the strengthening ribs. So now it's a bit more like what we've got in the picture. One thing we'll need to do is put some little notches in here for the handrails and stuff to go on. So yeah, next up is... Let's go back to Mr. Bartlett's pictures. Now it does have a very small flat spot on that edge. And it's got fairly substantial strengthening ribs. But I'm going to do this as their own element, as printing on the underside of shapes is awful. I don't reckon these sides, if I had anything sticking out of them, would look at all good, and I don't reckon they're going to look that good as it is. So next up...
Excuse me.
Well, this line sticking through. It's a little actually higher up than it really should be. How accurate is this model, I reckon? So that goes there. Nah, it'll be fine. Right. The where the presumably there's an angle bar back behind this plate, sort of in this notch, which is where the rivets are that I can see. Words. Right, now, next thing I'm needing to do. I need to put a cap around all this edge. Because you wouldn't just have raw edges of metal, because for a start, this is a millimetre thick. This is oversized. But it can't really be... it could be thinner. If I make it thinner, though, I've got to make these thinner. I don't reckon I can actually make it thinner without compromising it. It's bad enough that it's a millimetre. I'll just have to have it a bit chonky. Never mind. Right, so to cement that new part I've drawn, so this goes on the inside, as I'm sure you'd expect, if I'm doing a brim. Yeah, lots of cats. Oh, 96.5. Half mil. Now, the other thing I've just spotted, again, the inconsistencies between the model and the final product is words. 196 is 96. No, 196 is 198. No, it ain't. It's 192. It's 193. There we go. Now this will be a mil and a half. It won't be a mil and a half because it's going to be more than that. So it sticks out a little way, but I can't do any thinner because, as I say, it's the angle bar round the top. And I'm gesturing to a drawing you can't see, so sorry about that. 55. And that is 2 mil over that, so that's 55, 59. So it's got a little bit of an overlap, but these need chamfering anyway, so it'll be fine. So this is now 197. No, it isn't. Is it? Yeah, the ends can be very slightly narrower, so 196. This is a 0.5 millimeter thick, so that is 5 layers at fine quality. There you go. It's not actually enough, is it? Grumble. 0.7. How's 0.7 look? 0.8. Ooh, why are you like this? There, right. So that's that all capped out nicely. And again, the little bits bring it all together. I've also just seen the side sheets stick out over the the side sheets stick out wider than that bit, which they do not on the model I have. Yeah, again, always important to check your photographs if you're working from actual drawings of things that exist. Alright. I fear soon it will be the time to do the rivets. And that is a time of great suffering. But it's quite quick, at least. It's just... well, it's quite quick to do, it's just not quick to have the actual result. So all of this, internally, pretty much done. Externally, that's a different question. Because I'm tempted to set this up so it could actually be usable, but not regularly usable. I don't know. Yeah, I think the N11 is probably my most difficult one. I could... I'm not even going to try and open the file. However, I will show you the size of the file if it will let me. There we go. Can you see that window? Yeah, you can't see the window. Never mind. Well, the drawing is 26 megabytes, and the eventual one I printed was 24 megabytes. Now, as an aside, let's see how heavy this file currently is. So, export. Right, so let's drop in here. Details. So the export file for this is 95 kilobytes. So yeah, that's a substantial difference in size, but that's about to get significantly heavier. So things that I need to adjust to get this correct are lots of rivets and some small overlaps. Now, are there any very conveniently photographed angles? Like ones that go just the top view. Just the not top, nearly the top view, top down view. I'm gonna say that's a no. Oh, bingo. Excellent. Okay, so there is a solid floor almost all the way around on that particular version. How's that one? Yeah, that one matches as well. Now, the other fun thing I've just seen as the inside's done and the inside's not done. Oh dear. Now I can't see enough of the interior, but I reckon I've got enough to work with though. Just check there's not a better angle. No, there's a different angle of the same view though, so it's something. It's got a lot of pictures of these. I'm gonna probably end up words. Okay, so there's a weld line on the inside. It's gonna be close, but I reckon I can do it. Oh, it's gonna be suffering. Right. I've got to go back a few steps. Quite a few steps, actually. Step 2. Dimension. A single dimension. I also got to go turn that off. That's just the outside. It hurts me to do this. It really does. So I'm gonna go through all the file again now. Oh, it's gonna be suffering. It's gonna take its time as well. Let's check in on Minecraft. It's night time. If I make sure I sleep regularly, I won't have phantoms bouncing off the ceiling making horrible noises for you all. So, one dimension. There we go. So the inside is going to be a little bit thinner. I'm also tempted, as I've got to do that capping on the top edge, to fix this bit. Oh dear. Excuse me. Oh. Now, when it gets round to refreshing, I'll try and quickly go through the next steps. So, things that probably want fixing. This corner. So I can probably do. Now this should be exactly the same. Shouldn't have any effect on the drawing. Should. Fingers are crossed. Nine foot 9 inches, I said, was 68 plus. No, isn't it? Words. 9 foot 9's actually quite short. I think it's very dense cargo. There you go, so it's got that edge now, and that edge is actually prototypical. So it's fine. Only the top half will be a bit more flimsy, and that I can patch up with... what's the word? the reinforcing ribs will fix that. All will be well. $56. Come on. Update the drawing. You know you want to. This might take a little while, I'm afraid. Right, let's go see how much iron I've got while I'm waiting. So we've got 2.5 stacks. We've also got loads of wool. Much red wool's backed up in there. Not that many. Loads of sweet berries. I'm going to blame the foxes. Yeah, that's done. Good. Now, unless any of the others turn red, I should better just switch it back and hope for the best. Because I've only made it 2 areas very slightly thinner. Slightly. Alright, so this isn't as critical. I don't actually think any of this part is necessary anymore, but we'll keep it in there for reasons. It's a good progression point anyway. Looks like a whale tail. A little bit. Very, very thin whale. Very, very large tail. Now, it's going to take a little while each time I do this because of the parts later on. So I'm hoping as this is all behaving itself, I'm going to risk it and just switch it back to the current piece of worked on stuff. That is a very nicely done one. Is that bolts? That's actually bolts. Done. You know what I was just saying? That I needed to make some slight adjustments. I should probably make those now. But they're going to be awful to do. So I'm not going to do them. I need to make this part slightly thicker. That's going to mess around a whole load of stuff. And I'm going to make it thicker by about 1.5 millimeters. Which again doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. I think it's better to not do it and have it look a little odd than to try and print something that won't print properly. So it's already a push getting that bit printed. I'd imagine all that edge is going to sag out anyway, so if I don't have an anchor point, it's going to look bad. Right, so we're seeing a problem here, aren't we? It's all fine and... Ugh. Alright, so that again adds a nice strengthening bit in the middle. Ugh. That one's had a bit of a ding at some point. My best guess, it's probably been hit by a lorry or something. Oh, my rib shelf is hurting. Slow. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. No, that's fine. I can stay like it is for now. Was ist das? Was ist das? Das ist das? Okay. 8, I think. Number 8? Yeah, it should be sketch number 8. So this should be the part that cuts out the hopper doors. Or it's a door. Oh, I do like making mistakes in this software. It's so inconvenient to correct it. But as long as your drawings are good, you generally won't have many of that, and as long as your drawings are alright, you can fix it fairly quickly. What's that nub there for? Yep, see this? See this? That's not meant to do that. That's broken, and I don't know why that's broken. So we need to play the game of why is that broken? Because there's a straight up just a hole through it. Oh. Right, so it's fine there. It's fine there. It's fine there. Oh, it's going to take a little while. So it just re-renders it each time. Why is there a hole in this? Because that hole is going to break the drawing. So it won't print properly, and it'll print with like weird, huge gaping holes through stuff that shouldn't even have holes in it. Right, that's as it should be. Again, it's got bits that should hold it together. Ribs, could you not, please? So that works, right? Ah. That might be what's breaking it. Might be. Sugarcane goes again. Now does that go all the way to the sides? Or is there a gap? Right, easy way to test it. It will let me chamfer. Good, that means it's fine. This part, still good. Pocket number 3. Pocket number 3 breaks it. Okay. So we go back a step. And we go, why does pocket number 3 break it? So we've got millimetre, 25 millimetre, 25 millimetre. So it's all right up to there. So 42.5. Let's see if that fixes the problem. Because it might just be it clips through a face and it doesn't like that. Because it probably already doesn't like that I've got this part going through like that. Because in here, that's a dish, actually. It might be okay. Might. No, it breaks it. Alright. Okay, that needs fixing. So, part number 3. Edit sketch. This will be fairly quick to do. Switch. That's irrelevant apparently. Right. Now, because I'm keeping the line chunks in, it should keep them on the drawing. And this should just make a solid piece. That might actually have been the problem. Because there will be a gap where there should not be a gap. If we go to this one, which is an existing part, see there's that little face. I don't know how solid that face is. It might actually be that this face has a hole in it, and if that's the face of a hole in it, that will be why. Actually, no, it's fine on that one. Never mind. You couldn't see that anyway. Well done, me. Right. So, little mistakes will cost you a large amount of time, but it teaches you not to make the little mistakes. So that's that. Surprised there's still 3 people watching, so not complaining. Not thinking I should have loads of people watching. It's more just the, alright, people are interested. Cool. What's that? That's only on one side. Right, so this part. Dip-a-doo. I'm trying to think what happens on Wednesdays. Because I don't think Stu's running his game tonight. I should check. Normally it is Stu's game. Ooh, that looks nice. Let me just check if I'm meant to be anywhere in the next few minutes. There's that chat. Thursday. Yeah. Okay. Topped myself up with Lucasade. Now, just, I guess, for my own convenience, 50. No, can't make it 57. 56 will do. If I make it 57, it'll stick out the sides and will mess up the exterior panelling image. But there's some lovely pictures of these. Huge, great big departmental units with one very uninteresting purpose. That purpose is that they hold vast amounts of stone and move it around the place. You're seeing a problem there. So part number 8, no, sketch number 8 rather. It's only part number, it's pocket number 3. So it's a bit more of a substantial piece now. So I've thickened up these parts and done away with some of the indiscrepancies. There. I don't know what I just pressed. Hopefully it's nothing important. There we go. So that's currently as it should be. No gaps to report. Gotta go through the render. It's because I've got the ribs on the outside now. It takes the time to refresh. Right, so that's as it should be. I would hope. Here we go. So it's coming back together again, and none of those parts have got huge great big holes in them, which means I've fixed that issue. And if I hadn't fixed that issue, I've had to have fixed it later, and if I had to redo all the rivets to do that, I'd have been impolite, shall we say. Where is this part? Because I can't see it. Right. This part, what's this? What's this? What's this? There's magic in the air. What's this? What's this? It's alright. Let's place your bets. Which side's it going to be? I reckon it's this side. I should check the numbers. It might be... Is this going to be the convenient side? Or is it going to be the inconvenient side? Was that a 19 or a 27? It was the 19 side. Which means that it is... that face that it's meant to be on. So that is sketch number 10. Probably have broken this because I've moved all these faces around as far as it's concerned. Alright, there we go. Done. No, don't transform it. Punch the hole through it. There we go. So these 3 big holes, 2 at each end. Well, 1 at each end. 6 big holes, 3 at each end. There, right. Control if you're dumping the ballast in the centre, off to one side, or off to t'other side. Right. That's, Okay then. So, sketch number 11. Now I'm sure someone could come along, spend many, many dozens of hours and build a beautiful one of these out of brass. And I'd be very, very impressed. Be a lovely piece of work. But then if they want to make another one, it's still dozens and dozens of hours. Okay, coming up to 3 stacks of iron. That's, ooh, third of a stack of blocks. 3 stacks of iron's about 180, so that's 20 blocks. I might be able to finish off my beacon, just have to put some filler in instead. Maybe I'll take the diamonds off the top, sort of thing, Maybe move the gold up a layer, emeralds up a layer. Or, that may make more sense, iron, emeralds, gold. So it goes. Those don't... Oh, they do. Alright. Looked like that wasn't touching for a second then. So, the 3 holes in the floor are done. What's this next bit? Is as it should be. Hey, it's not changed. I like it when it's not changed. So, 47.5. Now the body is meant to only be 47 high. So what I can do is trim off the top half millimetre. And actually, I need to trim off after I've got this bit done. Half a millimetre. Are you going to notice half a millimetre on something like this? Yes, probably to the right person. They'll be like, oh, you've done it wrong. You've only got this many of this part. There's meant to be 1 extra. Oh. Sorry, that's always the voice I hear from when people are mocking the rivet counters. Because rivet counting. I mean, I'll try and get it accurate, but if, you know... I know on one of the vehicles I've done, since it's been repaired in heritage restoration, it's been repaired by different people at different times to different standards. And one of the results of that is on one side, it's got 15 rivets. On the other side, it's got 17 rivets for the same part. Because presumably, someone couldn't be fucked to drill 17 holes. Good times. Right. We're nearly back to where I was about 40 minutes ago. Gotta love this work. There we go. No. 161.5. Come on. There we go. Right, so we've got all the floor, apart from the ballast bits. Now the chutes are going to go on underneath, because they need to go up inside the frames. They're going to have all the other gubbins attached, but otherwise that is pretty much the interior as it looks. What's this part? That's the top ring. Okay. Part lastest partest. This is bittest. That is as it should be. So that didn't take too much time to correct, and it is now correct. Does it have to go in a certain order for the blocks? The beacon can be made out of any of those bricks. Say you don't have any iron, you don't have any gold, you don't have any emerald, but you have tons of diamonds, you can make your beacon entirely out of diamond bricks. But I'm probably just going to fill it with iron, because I can sit in the iron farm in AFK, excuse me, and get proper work done in the meantime. Now the next part is another one of the fun bits. Yeah, type fun bits. And that is, technically I gotta shave a chunk out of each of these panels on each side. So again, I think I'm gonna use the so I'm gonna leave. The fact it doesn't quite touch the floor is very irritating. Let's try 48. If it gets there. There we go. Let's try that. See how much it spits it out. Because I can correct if it's too long. If it's too short, that's a different problem. And I have to make them slightly longer than they're meant to be, because they're not meant to come all the way down the side. But if they don't, they won't touch the printer. If they don't touch the printer, they're not getting printed properly. Okay, so they're now slightly too long. Everything else is still as it should be, it's just these are now slightly longer. Good. So... now I could array this, but I think it'll be easy just to... words. My brain is not in this right now. I think it's the silence. Never mind. So it's like, array this, and immediately went to, yes, Araya Targaryen, who I believe, if I'm remembering Fire and Blood correctly, was the one who stole Balerion and went on a almost a year-long joyride. Came back and then promptly died of whatever hideous disease she had contracted wherever she'd been. Yay! So this needs to cover all but the last millimetre of the frames. So this needs to go there to there. So 79.5. Flat. Flat, flat, flat. 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 79.5. Now, this should hopefully all come together with 2.5. Notice this is going to shave into that bit. That's what I'm thinking of. But I don't want it to do that. I want it to just cut out the let's call the outside bits, because these are going to go just overlapping the frames, so that the frames are coming here and they'll just tuck underneath. There's me a line of rivets along there. This is going to be heavy on the rivets. Heavy to the point where I'm really tempted to print it this way up and hope for the best, but that's not going to help. It'll stick to the bed, but it might peel worse. And peeling is not going to be fun if this whole thing decides to just throw itself from the bed. So, mirror part, pocket number 6. Will it mirror? Let's find out. I don't know. No, it will not. Okay then. Darn. Fox screaming in the background is continuing to be tiresome. Yeah, I think I'll probably stop this when it gets to the riveting point. Should probably be about the 3-hour mark. Darn it. Okay, see you, Debs. I say thank you for watching as long as you have. Can't imagine it's been the most exciting. $79.5. Right. 2.5. And then 5. Now I'm tempted to do a test print, but if I do a test print, I've got one of these, and then I'll need more of them when I do more test prints, and it's a chunk. By which I mean a chunk. Right, on this facing. Don't need to be specific. Hopefully. Yeah, it's not. There we go. Come on, flip it around. There you go. Right, so I'd like to hope at least that, let me just get the correct window open, including the one with the nice little picture of the shunter. So that's about that angle. That don't look too bad to my eyes. I just need to add all of those rivets. And then the main hopper should be completed. Hey. Oh, there's a lot more people watching now. Not going to complain. I'm just a bit surprised. That's all. Right. Photograph. Oh no. Well, for a start, I'm going to have to redo my chassis so it's more substantial. Yay. Not so much an issue, more just another inconvenience, I guess. Also, those things were on top of the chassis. I'm going to have to do maths later. Ugh. Words. Rivets. It's time to start rivets, I'm afraid. But first, actually, before I do that, let's remember this one thing. Ugh. Okay. I need to make chamfers. Oh, I've got a... oh, no. You know what, I'll do it in post. I'm not going to try and chamfer those before I print them. That's just going to be suffering. What's this sketch? Not helpful. Delete. What's this sketch? That one. Okay, let's move this one. So this is the part where I am gonna have a very, very trying time. Because I'm thinking it'd be easier to draw 7 rivets across and then drop them. If they are consistent. And I don't know if they are. Oh, oh no. Right, I've got a good picture of the side. Oh. I've now got a good picture of the side, and the side tells me bad news. Oh, they're not consistent. Okay, so this side, rivets down there. This one, rivets down both. And roads up there. So I think I'm going to do it all doubled, if I can. Because that's the other problem. I've got that much, obviously not that crudely done. Flats equal... Now I generally do 0.45 rivets. Which means they're not going to fit. Unless I make this gap wider. Oh. So I was technically correct earlier. When I was like, do I need to do it like this? I did. I did need to do it like that. Watch as this breaks everything I've done in the last few minutes. It's fine though, because only the last few minutes. It's not like the last half an hour, like last time. Oh dear. Yeah, it's a surprisingly small gap they've got for all of the ballast to fall out of. But then again, you don't want it to all fall out at once, so it's probably been very carefully measured by engineering types. Bleh. Oof. Oh, ribcage. Why are you like this? Is it because I was bending over all of earlier to do painting? Well, moves quite a lot right now. Ash will tell me off. That's going to be a few seconds. Let's have a look. It is light outside, and we have 3 stacks of iron. Yeah. Okay, so the part is now where it's meant to be. Right. That is, to my knowledge, still where it's all meant to be. Good. Still 0.8mm thick. Ah. I do need to change that one, don't I? What am I on about? Because I made it narrower, so now it's got an inside lip as well. 56. Update. That should bring it back to where it's meant to be. Ooh, There we go. All good. Right. Pockets us. I reckon that's probably this side. So that's sketch number 15. Come on. Oh, that was so sorry. Whoops. Right, so technically, sometimes, as I say this a lot, my brain is a lot more intelligent than I am. It's fine, Ash, they're just spongy and move in a bunch, it's fine. 79. 79. Free. Update. Yeah, I've got auto update turned off for drawings because otherwise it chugs like this every time you edit anything. And that can be inconvenient, especially when you're only checking a measurement. So again, it leaves us a bit more structurally weak than I would appreciate, but can't be helped. So I've got to cut them out afterwards, and that seems like suffering. Now, a lot of me is very tempted at this point just to run the main frames inside, but I can't do that because the frames are too long to print in the desired axis. Ow. 79. I might have to stop soon anyway. I mean, it's also nearly 3 hours. I don't imagine people are going to watch this back. It's not exciting, but I know a few people do like to watch this. So although it's not exciting, it might be informative or interesting. Or maybe you just like to hear the sounds of Minecraft animals in the background. And go stand near some cows if people want. It does mean, though, that iron farm is approximately 60 iron an hour. Right, so that's taken out the top, and I want it to take out the bottom edge. There! Oi! Gib mouse back. So that one is now on this facing. Because these are very slightly too long, I'm not quite sure what the actual number is, but it's a small bit of a number. So I think we'll get this done. I'll get the start of the rivets done, and then I'll leave it there for now. I'll keep going, but not on the stream, because, yeah. It's like if they were bad, apparently they're meant to just spring out at you, like an errant jack-in-the-box. Errant? Errant? So it's very tight space, but should be adequate. AT and 1. 0.45 for the both of them, and it starts. It should be actually about. Actually, let's just look at the drawing like I'm meant to. So there's 2 big rivets at the bottom end, and then it's small ones all the way up the sides. So it's starting about there, in the 5.5 region. Is that right? Now these always print a little bit smaller, because the software doesn't quite understand them, but they'll work, so it's fine. So that's that. Now I need to make this the same all the way across, and then we'll mirror them all the way down there. And then I've got to draw them all as, what's it called? I've then got to dome them all over with the fillet tool. Right, so that was 80mm to the inside, so that's 80mm to that one. Now, why isn't this... flat. There we go. They've all turned green. Now I just need to draw all of these. Let's be nice and quick. I have refined how I draw these rivets over many goes, because rivets take up almost all of the actual drawing time, because there's so many of them. Now, this is going to be fairly simplistic, so we've got 28 to 17, and then 2. I guess these are really close up, but it's fine. So then these are 0.45 across, as that is, I think, about the biggest I can reliably print them, at least with one of my printers. I might be able to do them a little bit smaller now, however, even then, 0.45 is tiny. I could do them as 0.4s. 0.4s might be viable. But, it's not ideal. So next up we have the fun counting game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 to the top. Now, that number is going to be very helpful, hopefully. I'm going to start with 30. That's the length, not the occurrences. It's 21 occurrences. So that's, take in mind, 7 of these, 14 rows of 21. Imagine drawing that by hand. Would not be fun. Where are these rivets? I don't see them. Reverse direction, maybe? I have not thought that through. Trying to work out which axis these have drawn themselves in. Put it down as 10, I'll make it more obvious to see. Alright, pocket number... Oh. Ah, grumble. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Right, off. The right one, you dafty. So, 30. Vertical axes. Reverse. See, there we go. See, it's giving me all the little blips now to work with. Now, clearly, 30 is not enough. Now, 36 might be nearer the mark. Because in theory it's 47 to the top, which means I might be able to go up to 40, up to 40 actually. Let's try 40. I need to stop eating my hair while I'm talking. That'll help. I can get a bit further in. So 41. That should put me almost bang in the centre there. Excuse me. Right, let's have a look at this drawing while I'm at it. So approximately rivet number 12, which is halfway, no, just over halfway up, is the line of rivets that goes across. Technically, some of these rivets are very slightly off the alignment, however, that is, here's damn it, looks correct. So if I go 21 now, it's going to go, what are you asking of me? As it tries to draw maths. 180 more parts ish. That's, I really hope that's not clipped, because if that's clipped it's going to be so irritating, so I'm going to have to adjust it down to 40.5 or something. That little joint. These are made in the... These ones I'm looking at, I think were made in Shildon, and in the south. Some of them made, I believe, in... Come on, do the loading thing. There we go, right. So that has hopefully taken quite a bit of time out of the next step, because that is quite a few rivets. So let's just check quickly, before I get too excited, how much more work I need to do. Notice how the drawing has suddenly got much slower. Fortunately, it's a limitation of the software, not the hardware. Let's go and sleep again in Minecraft. There we go. That's still loading. So next bit is going to be drawing the rivets on here, and extending that way, and the same with ones there. I'll probably have to do that in two parts, that or draw them, shave them off, draw the next bit in, because I need to then do the rivets down there, the rivets across the top there, and then the other side. Ooh, ooh, I think we might have gotten away with it. Nope. Just not quite. Where's he gone? So that's just skimming the top there. Darn. Now, there's a solution to that. Hopefully it's a solution that'll be quick. Yeah. Ah, pulls it up high enough. Come on. This is taking its time. I think, though, you can see enough of what I'm planning to do, so I'm going to leave it there. You, everyone, have a lovely evening. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, Quacks. Sorry about that.